says we're live. If you are already logged in for this live cast, could you just comment that you can hear us? We just want to make sure that we're audible and viewable. Yes, yes, awesome.
It's not here. It's not.
What are you whispering? What? What time is it?
There we go.
Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome to this live cast. If you are online and you're watching us right now, could you help us out and just post in the comments that you can hear us okay? We just always want to check that at the beginning of these videos. Anything?
No, I'm just over here laughing because this is always so unbelievably tense to get all this stuff set up, and just it's funny. It's funny.
Can you guys hear us okay? I hope the link's working. Happy spring. Anybody? Do you have the comments on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, again, thanks for joining us. We are doing some new things with this live cast. We actually signed up for a subscription for some new technology because we wanted to show some videos and pictures of what's going on in our garden this springtime. And as any gardener knows, this is the busiest time of year. You are pumped. You are excited to get things in the ground, start your seeds, and just get your garden going and growing. And so that's what we're pretty much going to talk about today is what we're growing, what we've started as seeds, our expanding garden. And we have a big reveal at the end of this video. So just stick around to the end and then you can see a big change that's coming for our brand.
Yeah, so one thing we're going to talk about is the stuff that we planted, I guess, back in September that's you call over winter. So if you guys got anything, if there's anybody on here that's done some gardening and put some stuff in the ground and it's coming up right now, it's pretty exciting this time of year because you're doing a lot of stuff to try to get stuff started and just thinking about what's going in the ground. So it's nice to see some green stuff coming out on the other side of it. So, but yeah, so what do we have?
Well, and speaking of green stuff, we actually had a lot of plants that grew through winter. And they stayed green in our garden. So it was kind of nice to look out at the garden and not see everything completely brown and dead. And here's where the technology kicks in.
If I just want to say a quick hi to Michaela and Pat and Betsy. They're on right now.
Hi,
thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.
We miss all of you guys so much.
Yeah, so for the overwintered stuff that we had a great crop of garlic and onions, and then also our strawberries are in this. There's some more onions. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have so many onions this year, but you know, who doesn't use onions all the time? We had leeks. That was a new one for us. And then I think the other, it was parsley. There's your strawberries. He actually transplanted those from one bed to another. We had parsley make it over winter, chives and spinach, and it was a pretty good overwinter crop that we had. So we're excited to have those things right away coming into early spring. And I want to know, has anybody planted something that made it through winter that you want to share in the comments? Maybe something that you were surprised. Like we do have some mystery plants out there that
I have no idea what
we don't know what they are, or seeds that we planted that just came up in January, but we planted them in fall. We weren't expecting that.
So it's pretty exciting. We're here in spring. We got some stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks that we're pretty excited about. One of the things that's going to happen here, I think tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, we get some more bees coming in. So we're looking forward to that. It's always good if you guys can have some bees out in your garden and help them pollinate everything, and we're pretty excited about that.
And speaking about overwintering, how did your bees do?
Not so good. Bees didn't do good at all. We lost them all, so now we're starting over again. But we did get honey last year. We got a nice, and I hope that some of the people watching had an opportunity to enjoy some of our honey. Most of the people probably watching did. So we really enjoy that. It's funny when you think about all the things you do in your garden, and you know, it's pretty easy to grow a tomato and a cucumber and stuff like that. It really is. But I will say it's probably one of the most um, exciting things that I've ever done is to like be able to get honey out of your backyard. It's pretty amazing to be able to just go out there and grab some honey. It's I mean, it's just awesome. It's if you have an opportunity to be able to do it and you have the space, I recommend it. It is kind of
Pat said it was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome.
I think you got like 30 jars or something like that.
Yeah, we
So
did close
he
to 30
had two
jars.
hives all
Yeah,
last year. Well, I'm going to say early spring through fall,
yeah,
but only one of them produced honey, but it was
that's right.
still 30 jars full. It
And
was
I will
awesome.
say, I mean, I don't imagine too many people on here are bee experts, and neither am I. But so for the 3 years now, I've bought bees, and the only ones that have produced honey are the ones that have been trapped wild. And I had a buddy that gave me some trapped bees last year, and they're the only ones that produced honey. So this year, we decided to go ahead and put out a trap ourselves, and we did it this morning. Well, we did it a couple of times, and the first one didn't work. So this year we moved it to see if we can, see if we can have any luck trapping our own bees. So I borrowed this trap from actually somebody Rana works with, and went out and put it up. Like I said, this is the second location. The first location didn't work. Go Vikings! But we will see how this works. But so you just stick it up in a tree and you face it southeast,
Yeah.
and you hope the bees come to it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll work. So, but yeah, awesome.
So speaking of bees, I mean, obviously you want to get the honey, but
Yes.
you're also trying to use them for their pollinating purposes. And last year we kind of years before we did a lot of vegetable and fruit planting,
Mhm.
and we didn't really focus on flowers, which brings the pollinators to pollinate your veggies. So last year we kind of started doing more flowers. Here's some zinnias we've got growing, but we this year we're going to be doing a ton of flowers. And anyways, you need pollinators to come and be attracted to your garden, so they come to the pretty flowers. Yeah. And then they pollinate your veggies as well. So that's one thing to get bigger, better crops. But I know you wanted to talk about some other things that we've been doing that gives you bigger, better,
Oh yeah.
more
So
full crops.
so one of the things, I mean, so when we first started our garden, we had like just a small area that's out, and then we've expanded it over the years, and you learn through the whole process of what you really need to do to get a good yield. So one of the things is, yeah, you can plant a tomato plant and it'll grow. So over the years, we've learned of the things that we need to do, and obviously, you can see from this we've expanded quite a bit. When we first started, all we had was that little garden in the back, and then we went to 3 beds, and now we're up to like I don't know, 15 beds. And then this year we added the 2 beds in the front. We're going to add 2 more to the side of this. So we keep expanding. Obviously, we have to we obviously have to put mulch down in this area that where the what is that, the weed barriers down, and then we'll cover that up with mulch, and it'll all look nice. But one of the things that you have to have, and when you have an area like this, is you have to have some kind of irrigation. If you don't, you're spending hours out there watering. Even in an area like North Carolina, where we have a good amount of rain, and it's pretty pretty good weather as far as rain goes, it's still not enough when it gets super hot in the summertime. I mean, I will say that's one of the things that probably helped us the most is the watering, the
Definitely.
irrigation.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have that, I mean, that's probably, I don't know, from our faucet to the backyard, it's probably 175 feet of hose that you have to get out there, and then you're watering it for hours on end. And it's
You just got home from work and it's 90 degrees out and 6:30 at night. And
Yeah.
just like that's the last thing I want to do. So
it's not a lot of fun. So putting the irrigation in was definitely a lifesaver for us. So it's been, I would say that's probably one of the most,
yeah.
and then also fertilizing it, like I said, you can plant a tomato plant in the ground and you can water it, and it'll grow. But going back to the yield thing, so we tend to try to keep our things organic, and one of the things we use is this organic garden tone. They are not a sponsor of this video, by the way. I'm just talking about it. But this helps. It's all purpose. You can put this on anything. Your indoor plants, it's really good. It's organic. It seems to do the job. We use it, I mean, consistently on everything. It's a well balanced fertilizer. It's I think it's a 344, so it's good. It works on everything. We haven't had any issues with it, and they put all different things, specialized for different things. This is one that we use on like on our strawberries and our blueberries. So there's different fertilizer to use, but they are organic and they tend to work great. So
But
no
as you
complaints.
get more comfortable with gardening and you start thinking about companion planting and what, direction the seeds need to be planted where in the garden, and then you start thinking hard about fertilizing.
Yeah, because you spend so much time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it is hard, the middle of July to go out there and start thinking about fertilizing and taking care of the yard and or the garden and stuff. It's daunting at that time. But what's interesting about it in the middle of July is you're starting to think about stuff you're planning for fall.
Mhm.
So it's just like now we're spring, we got a lot of stuff. When we did plant a lot of stuff so far.
Yeah,
I mean, what have we
so right now in the garden, let me pull this one up. Boy, we're digging this whole software thing. Let's see what we got. We've got, oh, this is our brassicas and some more onions. Yep. But we had planted cauliflower, couldn't get it to start. We planted broccoli, got a couple. These are some of our seedlings that are still inside, but we did terrible on getting our brassicas to start. So if
what's a brass?
a brassica would be something like cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. That's your brassicas. And for some reason, now I'm just talking about starting seeds indoors to get the little seedlings. We were just having such a hard time. So if you are an expert at planting those vegetables, leave a comment and tell us how you get your seeds started, please.
Especially cauliflower.
We need to help.
Cauliflower
I know,
is something we
tried that
cannot.
like 4 times. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I know in the South, especially like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and those kind of things, they don't really grow very well in the South. So that might have something to do with it. But we can't even get them to start.
Yeah,
I mean,
just starting them is
cauliflower. We couldn't get anything to start.
Yeah.
So, but and then so that brings us kind of to the next thing where our seeds that we've had going this season. These are some of our tomatoes. These have been growing since, I don't know, what did we say?
I think we figured the middle of February.
Yeah, middle of February.
So look at that stalk right there.
They're great. These are seeds. These are fantastic. I mean, they're so healthy. This is a good example, and maybe somebody out there that's a good mathematician can figure this formula out. But we went to one of the hardware stores today, and we were looking at what they had for sale.
Let me pull that
and up. So this is a pack of seeds. There's 36 tomato plants right here in this area. And plus, I think I figured I got close to 200 tomato plants this year. Don't need them all. Probably will sell them and give them away. But for instance, like what Ron is showing, we bought a pack of seeds for $3.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I don't know, there's 36 plants here right now. And you can see at the hardware store, close to $5 a plant. So this is what, $150? Over $150 worth of plants right here if you were to buy them at the store.
Yeah, and he actually planted some of our tomato seeds from seeds that are from tomatoes we grew last year. So it's we saved money and saved seeds. But so just an example, I didn't have any tomato packs of seeds, but like these little packs of seeds you get at like the hardware store, $2.50 for all of these seeds. They'll get you probably like 30 plants.
Yeah.
Or you can buy, and I know we already talk about this in some of our videos, but the cost savings is real.
Yeah, and the other thing too, going back to the seeds that we saved from the tomatoes that we grew last year, there isn't a whole lot of difference. These ones that came from the pack seem to be a little further along than the seeds that we took from the tomatoes and planted them and used those. So they're a little bit behind mature wise, but they look great. These are fantastic seed plants. I mean, these are healthy. When we're doing these seeds, this is a second level of planting. We start them out in the small seed packs of like 12, and so they grow 12, and we take those out and then we up plant them, as they call them, I guess. And One of the things we do that has really saved when you're doing this and you're using the seeds, recommend bottom watering. You fill up your tray with water, let it let it soak up the water from the bottom, because then you don't get certain kinds of rot in the tomato and things like that. And one of the things that I do use for that is this all-purpose liquid fertilizer. Again, not a sponsor, but just one of the we use. We This is probably a tablespoon of what you're supposed to do when you're doing seedlings. You want to bring it down to half of that, so you do a half tablespoon or whatever, and you pour it on, and it does really good. I mean, you can see what these look like. These look like they're fantastic. I looking forward to putting them in. We got what, about a month to go before we can stick them in the ground.
Yeah, probably another month. Someone's
Yeah.
asking for Brian's cameo. Here he
Yeah.
is.
He shows up just
He
in
definitely
time.
wanted to show up.
He'll probably knock over the camera,
Yeah.
and then you'll see like back in the old days, bzzz, you know, the what are those, the end screen into the
Yeah.
show. But yeah, so
starting seeds indoors.
yeah,
is-
it's the way to go if you
Yeah.
can. I will say right now, you're probably a little too late. I mean, because you kind of want to do it between 6 and 8 weeks of your last frost. So you're probably getting to the point where it's getting a little bit late to start your tomatoes. So
Robin had a comment. What can she do about not having a huge water bill? I'm paraphrasing, but one thing is when Stan was talking about the irrigation system really helps. You put it on for 45 minutes, an hour a day for each zone. We have 4 zones set up
yeah,
because of the water pressure. You don't want them going all at one time, and that really helped with our water bill.
well, getting a timer. Getting a timer
Yeah,
that you can program. They're cheap. They're like $35. I think we have 4 zones on ours. You can program it through your phone, and it does save, because we had the same problem. I mean, we're on a well, but we're on a community well, so we still have to pay for water. So we did, when we went to the timer and the watering system, we saw our water bill go down because it's
Yeah.
more controlled, and you can monitor it. And and when you're consistently watering over time, you're not wasting a bunch of water to try to catch up. You have that consistent water. Your soil stays nice and damp, and you don't have to worry about going out there and watering for hours and wasting water. So yeah, the watering, again, irrigation is really the way you need to go. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I don't know what we would do if we had irrigation.
I don't know.
We wouldn't have this.
We probably wouldn't.
We
We
would-
would have like 2 or 3
Yeah,
beds.
we
It's
wouldn't.
just too
we
much.
wouldn't be doing this. So
So, we wanted to also just let you know that we're getting to a point of time in the season when we're going to start direct sowing, and that pretty much means putting seeds in the ground. Now, there's a couple of items I've already planted direct sowed, and those are things that can still make it in cooler weather. They are small seeds, and I'm pointing that out because I'll get to this in a minute. But I've put in beets, radish, carrots, peas. Those I've direct sowed already. But the warmer weather crops that I'm going to be direct sowing are, or that we will be direct sowing, are things like your squash, your, loofah. What else am I thinking of? Cucumbers.
hey, Lauren and Coral.
Hey. Those kind of things. But here's a little tip. If the seed's big enough that you can just hold one seed in your finger and you're not having to use a microscope to look at it, I would suggest that you direct sow those, because a lot of those plants, when you try to transplant them, they don't like to be transplanted. And that would be things like your melons, your cucumbers, your squash. And so the reason why I pulled this picture up, if you see the 2 beds in the front of our garden that have the weed barrier beneath them, we're going to be putting an arch between those 2, and we're going to be trellising cucumbers and melons over that arch, right?
Yeah, definitely. We still don't need to get that in place, but that's our next thing, I guess. Get it mulched and then take care of the trellis. But that's definitely, we're also thinking about maybe not just fruits or vegetables. We're thinking about maybe some kind of flowers growing up there and kind of keeping it green year round. So
yeah,
that's an option too.
Yeah,
but.
And then also Stan built these 2 smaller flower boxes in front of those.
Our yard
beds.
slopes to us right now, and it just didn't look very well aesthetically. And so I put those flower boxes in front of it, and just to kind of dress it up a little bit. So
and it'll attract those pollinators.
Yeah, it will.
That'll be good.
And then so another thing about what we have going on here in this late spring or early spring is what we're going to get in the ground. and I think you kind of mentioned that, but obviously we got our tomatoes getting ready to go in.
We still got peppers inside that they haven't been transplanted from the little pods to the bigger carriers here, but and some herbs. But we're just about done. At least we're done putting seeds in the ground, unless we're direct sowing, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing we're going to do is obviously we're going to plant corn. We had an awesome corn production last year, but one of the things we're going to do this year, it's called Three Sisters.
Yeah.
And so I guess this is kind of an American Indian thing, actually, that they did to, grow several things in one area. So we're going to plant the corn, and then we're going to plant the pole beans. And the pole beans go up around the corn, which is pretty interesting. We actually saw this on some Amish thing that we were watching one day, and they were talking about it. So we're going to go ahead and try that.
What's the third sister?
It's squash. And the reason they use the squash is it kind of covers the ground. So when it rains, and it kind of keeps the moisture of the soil and helps fertilize. So there's a lot of nutrients that go back into the soil from the beans and the corn, so they need the nitrogen. So that's one of the things. That's why they do it. So we're looking forward to doing that. That's something new that we saw, so that'll be fun to do.
Is anybody that is watching doing some kind of experiment in their garden, either with something they're growing new or something you're going to try, or maybe expanding your garden or doing something different with how you plant something? I know one year we did bucket potatoes.
Yeah,
that was really cool because they actually seem to, because you could move them anywhere. So if there was disease, like let's say some bed broke out in blight, we could just move the potatoes away from the.
Yeah, and that's something that's really easy to grow too. Talk about bucket potatoes. That's one of the things that you can just, if you got potatoes in your pantry that are starting to grow shoots off of them or something, stick them in some dirt in a bucket, and you're going to get potatoes. And it's easy. You just water them, and they grow great in buckets. So that's a really easy thing to grow.
Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to try to share another video. We get to share a video. So this is just a quick snip because I was asking if anyone's expanding their garden, and this was part of the process when we built these 2 beds. You're like, oh, 2 garden beds, no big deal. Oh my goodness, it was probably 30 travels back and forth for each bed.
Yeah, more than that. We had 8 yards of dirt, and 1 wheelbarrow and a tractor, and sounds like a movie or a joke or something.
And all of it was just being shoveled into this tractor, pull behind, rode it to the backyard, shoveled it out. Yeah. And the one bed, we had to shovel it out because it was too high up off the ground.
Well, the two new ones were just, it was a lot of shoveling.
Yeah. So we tried to make it fun.
We tried to make it fun. Yeah. That's something that's not that fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, Betsy says, Pat says that anything we grow is always an experiment. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Robin wants to do bucket potatoes. You really, they're so easy. You just get chitted potatoes. That's the potatoes with the little eyes.
What's your language?
And you make sure that you've got your soil, and then in the bottom of the bucket, don't forget to put like drill holes so that there's good drainage. And I believe for potatoes, you water really well, and you almost let it dry out completely, and then you water again. So you don't want to overwater potatoes, but they do need, quite a bit of water.
There's actually a way to do it too. They say, so you put them in like 6 inches of soil, and when they start to grow, you put 6 more inches of soil on top of them, and then they grow some more. So you don't fill the bucket all the way up with dirt. And that's something that we just learned this year. Talking about things that we're doing a little different. We actually watched a video of a guy out in California, pretty well known. I think he's with Epic Gardener.
Yeah.
And he had actually a guy on his show that was a potato farmer and commercial potato farmer. And what they do is they put the seeds in the ground, and they cover them with frost cloth, and they just grow it all season like that. And so they just let it grow under the frost cloth. And apparently the production of it is quite extraordinary based on just regular old potato seeds. So
And you can tell in our bed, it's that bed that has the white cover because that's another experiment that we're doing.
We're just trying.
We've got one that's covered, and then we've also got the potatoes in the ground, and we've got another set of potatoes in a raised bed that's not covered.
Yeah.
We are going to have so many potatoes and onions. Come over for potato, onions.
And garlic.
Yeah.
And garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but those are all things that we eat. I mean,
Definitely.
We ran out of potatoes, we ran out of onions, and the garlic. We won't even talk about that.
We won't really touch too much on this, but food preservation, I mean, we're just because we garden outside doesn't mean we don't want to save as much food as we can inside. So there's a lot of curing that goes on with things like potatoes, onions, garlic, and we're getting really into that.
Yeah, yeah. And you grow it, you might as well hang on to it and as long as you can. So but so really quick, talking, we talked about tomatoes a little bit, but one thing I did want to mention is, so with these tomatoes, when we get these in the ground, there's a tomato, when you plant it in the ground, you can plant it all the way up to these stems here. So this tomato plant will grow no matter how deep you plant it. So when you get ready to put these in the ground, you can go all the way up to the top, and they'll grow. They're fantastic the way they grow. And then what else was I going to say about tomatoes?
I don't know, but I remember one year when we did grow tomatoes, and it wasn't last year. Last year was just crazy. We had way too many tomatoes in one area. But one year we had read or seen other people plant tomatoes, and they're pulling off the suckers at the bottom and all this kind of stuff. And so we tried it. We didn't see a difference at all doing that. Now there was where you cut the bottom leaves off, but that's just so that they're not touching the soil to prevent disease, right?
Yeah, tomatoes, if you're in the right climate, they're amazing. You could cut this stem off right here and just stick it in the dirt, and it'll start growing. And I tried that. I didn't believe it, but it definitely happens. So tomatoes will grow, but they are hard to keep alive and get tomatoes from them, believe it or not. They're great looking plants, but when it gets hot here in the South, it is hard to keep them growing. But yeah, so
just one more shot of our garden. Stan has the drone, and we just like flying around, and it's pretty cool. But this is where it all started, was behind this fence, and then it just went from there. I think then we added the beds, and then we added the chicken area, and then we just kind of grew from there. And the bee area,
and the bee area just keeps growing.
Just keeps growing.
It's a lot of fun. It's like you kind of get addicted, right, to it. I guess it's better than being addicted to other things, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It keeps us out in the backyard, and
in the sun, and
and we get to do some stuff together. I mean, we get to spend a lot of good time together, and and it's really interesting. We were looking at that. When you look at it from above, I don't think we really had a plan. I mean, can you show the above shot again? I don't think we really ever had a plan. I mean, when we started this, we had no idea that it was going to turn into something like this. And so when you look at this, you can put it on pause.
I think it is on pause.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, where the bed that's covered in white, it was the bed next to that, 2 over, and 1 that's kind of off center. That was all the beds we had up until last year. And then everything is new last year. And then we added these 2 other beds this year. So it's like you just keep expanding and expanding. And one of the nice things about this is we didn't really have a plan in it. And when you look at it, I mean, I kind of am partial, but when I look at it and we didn't really have a plan, it's very well organized and for that space. And it's just, I'm really happy the way that it turned out and how it came together. And, it gives us a lot of enjoyment. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of enjoyment.
El Flaco asks, are you still doing the beehives? Is that all year? And by the way, welcome if you're just now joining us. We did touch a little bit on the beehives, but the first year that we did them, the first year we got bees was in 2024 with just 1 hive, no honey that year. Lost the bees right around the fall. And then last year was our second year. We had the 2 hives. And here's the area. It was kind of just a start, kind of just a beehive area, But since we've added the flowers and once the grass turns green again in the summer, it's just so peaceful and
Yeah.
beautiful. But we're really hoping that the bees you're picking up on Monday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're being shipped from somewhere like in the south, like
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia. Mountain Sweet Honey is where they're coming from.
So we're really hoping that we can not only get honey again this year, but that we can hold on to the bees.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not very hopeful because of all the boxes that I've bought. It's never produced honey in the first year. So I'm hoping that the trap we put up will get some bees, and I feel confident that we'll probably get some honey out of those. But what is it, 3 years now? I've bought a box of bees and haven't gotten any honey out of those. So we'll see.
It's fun when you go pick up bees, though, like the ones. I don't think they're delivering them to the house, right?
No, last year we went and picked them up in Hillsboro.
And but we first picked them up at the post office, and that is exciting because, well, for us, we had never picked.
That was the first time.
Oh no, that wasn't last year. That was the first year.
Yeah, that was the first year. Yeah.
So we go. They give you a cage of bees, but it's all open, obviously, because the air needs to flow. And the person that worked behind the counter went to the back and was walking out like this from the back, and we were all tense.
That's not even the funniest part of that story, right? So we go and pick up the bees. I put my suit on. I go out there and I dump the bees in.
Hey, Sarah.
And I get this phone call, and I'm like, kind of freaking out because this is the first time I've done this, and the bees are in the hive, and I get this phone call, and they're like, yeah, this is the post office. And I'm like, yeah, hello. And I'm like, they're like, hey, did you get some bees? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, those are the wrong bees. I'm like,
they said, can you bring them back?
And I'm like, bring them back. I've already got them in the hive. I'm like, how am I supposed to bring these bees back? And I'm like, no, they're not coming back. So I didn't realize that, what are the odds of
two people getting
bees
at this little podunk post office?
Yeah. I mean, I guess she probably thought, oh, who's getting bees? So she didn't even look at the name on the thing, didn't have it signed up for her. So I ended up with someone else's bees that year. And I'm guessing they were the same bees. I didn't even look at the package, but it was just kind of funny. They asked me to bring them back.
That was hilarious.
They weren't coming back because I was not putting them back in that box. But
Sarah, thank you so much for the well wishes. And Robin asked, what's the fluffy grass plant? So she's talking about the ones in the picture there. That's pampas grass. And it kind of dies out, almost like goes dormant like Bermuda grass in the winter. And you trim it down. So like right now, they're just this big because I've already trimmed them. But then they'll grow back nice and full.
They're very pompous.
They got attitude.
Yeah, got attitude. But yeah.
Anybody doing anything tomorrow for the because it's spring and everything? Do you have any plans to work in your garden tomorrow? What's the weather look like for you? And if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, leave comments. We want to know.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys because it's so funny because I was laughing before. If nobody's ever done any kind of YouTube stuff, it's pretty funny trying to get set up for this live stuff. You just think, okay, you put the camera on and everything like that. I don't know. We've been working on this for about 4 hours
when we
today.
Started working on it last night.
Yeah, started working on it last night. And then we had not computer issues, but software issues. And
we broke the link. That's why you all got new links.
We had to start over. And it's just very stressful. And it's so funny that you just think, okay, this isn't that hard. I mean, anybody can do this, right? And anybody can, but it's so stressful. And so we really appreciate you guys listening to our
rambling.
Yeah.
So and really quick, Robin wants to know what happened to the bees. So why did the bees leave us?
Okay, so a couple things. So towards the end of summer there, they started to get really crowded in there in the one hive that was producing the honey, which is the taller one in the photo. So what I did is it was getting close to winter, and I wanted to make sure they had enough stored honey because that's what they feed on during the winter. And they'll stay there in the winter. What happened is, and this happens that I didn't even know this. I went out there one day and I thought they were swarming, and it was robber bees, and robber bees came from somewhere else, stole the honey and killed the bees. I mean, that's pretty much what they do. And I don't know how you stop that. It was new to me. I was like, what's going on? So of course I went to YouTube and researched it. And you really can't. You can reduce the entry on the hive and try to slow them from coming in, but it's one of those things that happens. And yeah, and they did it to both of them. They took all the honey, they killed the bees, and that was
Yeah.
it. And I felt that they had stored up enough honey for the season that they would make it. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing.
So Betsy said they're going to mulch their front flower bed, which we have mulching to do. So I feel for you, girl. And then Pat says that they've got an avocado tree that they started from an avocado seed. We did too, and that they're going to repot it. So are you guys keeping that as a patio plant? Because we actually tried to put our seed in the ground. A very hard wait. No, I ordered a cold hardy avocado plant, put it in the ground, and it just then I guess we're like way out of zone for that.
Yeah,
so
it didn't work.
But please, if you're doing this on the patio, have you gotten any avocados from your plant yet? I'm curious.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Pat says higher security force bees.
Special ops.
Yeah.
Special ops. What's weird?
It's an indoor tree. You know what? If it works, let us know, because we'd really love to have fresh avocados. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. Fresh avocados. What do we got? A lemon and a lime tree?
We do. And they actually made it through winter. What we've done when it's getting cold outside, take it in the greenhouse, and then we actually wrap them in frost cloth. But they will always have to be pot plants. They're never going to be able to grow in ground here.
Pot plants?
Yeah, in the pot.
Potted plants.
Potted plants.
Okay. Easy. Don't give away our secrets.
So.
Okay. What do you got? Anything else? Anybody got anything?
Anybody got anything else? We're getting ready to do a big reveal. We just want to make sure we cover everything before. Don't
be disappointed.
But yeah, so instead of us talking, just check out this quick video, and it will answer all of your questions.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Ta-da! We're taking the G out of our name, and we are going to be the Rambling Gardeners going forward. And do you want to tell them?
There's a couple reasons for that. YouTube is really funny, and we, after some consultation and talking to people, and for some reason, the whole gambling thing does not work in what they call the algorithms, and it really has really made a difference, because and we'll give a case study. So we changed our handle a day ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Just the handle.
Just the handle. We haven't done
like
the whole
at.
Right. And we had a video that only had 14 views.
It didn't have very many.
And today it has 64. So that's just an example from what we understand of, like, there's certain words that YouTube picks up on and doesn't really like them. So what's funny, though, is there's people out there that do all kinds of gambling on TV, but they do not have gambling in their name. It's just...
And neither do we as of today.
That's right. It's done.
We've dropped the G, and now we're just the Rambling Gardeners.
And
if you're not familiar with YouTube's algorithm, essentially, when you are a YouTube content creator, subscribers is great, but you only need 3 things to become monetized, and that's a whole other thing. But one of them is you need 1,000 subscribers. Once you get to 1,000 subscribers, more subscribers are always welcome. But then it's trying to get watch hours, and you need a lot of watch hours before anything happens. And so when you're not in the right algorithm, YouTube's not pushing your videos for anybody to watch. So they're just kind of like mysterious vapor.
Yeah. So...
And we put a lot of work. They're not like the best videos. Yeah. We think they're awesome. We hope you appreciate them too. But, to only get 10 views on the video,
we spend 5 hours on, and it's just, and we'll see similar people doing videos, and they'll get, 100 views in 2 hours, and it's like we look at what they're doing, and I'm not saying that what they're doing isn't, quality stuff, but it feels like we should be also at least getting
a little recognition,
a little more views. Not that
Yeah.
we're killing it or anything like that, but so that's the change. Sorry it
You
wasn't
saw it
more
here
spectacular.
first.
Sorry it wasn't more spectacular, but for us it's just a little bit of a change, and now we got to go through and rebrand everything.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like I had to go back through all of our videos and remove that G word.
yeah,
I don't even want to use that word in any of our videos anymore
Yeah.
because I don't want us to get tagged.
yeah. What's our new logo look like?
Our new logo is this.
Nice. So it's close to the same.
Yeah,
Right.
everything's going to pretty much stay the same. We just wanted to introduce like our new brand. So if you see like, Rambling Gardeners liking something that you've posted, it's still us. So
It would be cool if we could use that as a theme song. What is that? Ramblin' Man?
yeah, sing it, baby.
That would be cool. That would be cool. So, but anyways, you got anything? I mean, we really appreciate you guys watching. Especially, I know all of you know who we are. You're a lot of our friends and
Yeah.
family, so we really appreciate the support. And we can only say what? Remember, come grow with us.
Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah, enjoy.
All right, bye.